Good evening and welcome to the KSC TV News. I'm Pete Dubois.
And I'm Paul Lucas. Thanks for tuning in this evening.
There's a new building on the KSC campus, but it's more than just a building. It's a residence hall called the Living and Learning Commons. I stopped by recently to find out what living and learning means and how KSC students are reacting to it. The Living Learning Commons is a residence hall divided into 11 different parliaments. The parliaments group students around areas of interest. They range from film studies to health and wellness to the honors program.
I think it's really nice. Everything's brand new. The rooms are nice. I really like the people in the halls. We all have something in common, so we have something to talk about. So becoming friends was really easy. You know, it's been a pretty positive experience.
The students in each parliament live in their own wings of the building, so they socialize and build community with each other. They also study together and have courses together. The building has first-floor classrooms where many of these students go to class right where they live. Getting to class couldn't be easier.
I have the same attendance policy for this LLC course that I have for any course. In comparison to other faculty, my attendance policy is actually not very strict, don't tell anybody. However, never before have I had such a strong attendance record.
Administrators say combining these two things, living and learning, in this building makes students more connected to each other and more connected to campus. In the long run, that gives more opportunity for students to stay in school and more opportunity for a better overall student experience. Even so, this new arrangement does take some getting used to.
At first I kind of was maybe skeptical or questionable about the whole room situation. The dorms are kind of small. But then I finally explored the whole building and got to know it better, and I don't know, it's I call it home now, so it's really nice and it's beautiful compared to all the other residence halls.
The LLC opened in August just as school was starting. There are still some final touches being added to it, but it is fully operational and full of students. Pete Dubois, KSC TV. If you want to know more about the new building, visit keene.edu/office/reslife/LLC. Again, that's keene.edu/office/reslife/LLC.
Keene State College has teamed up with local organizations to help students to register to vote. Today in Keene State College's Young Student Center, students will be able to register to vote. Registration will begin at 10, and students are advised to bring a form of identification as well as a piece of mail to confirm their address.
Sessions here for voter registration, and we're allowing the students to register here for Ward 1 because many of them don't go home for election day and it's too far.
Registration will be open until 8 p.m. and is available to all students and faculty. New Hampshire gubernatorial candidates Chris Sununu and Colin Van Ostren squared off in their first debate Wednesday night. The union leader reports Van Ostren and Sununu debated about issues related to business, finance, and their own personal backgrounds. The debate came to a head over the building of a commuter rail from Manchester to Boston, with Van Ostren in support and Sununu firmly against.
Hundreds of runners gathered in Keene to conquer the annual DeMar Marathon. More than 700 people registered and ran in this year's DeMar Marathon. The full 26-mile course began in Gilsum, while half-marathon runners started off in Surrey. The marathon was established in 1978 to honor Clarence DeMar, a Keene resident who became a 7-time Boston Marathon champion, as well as an Olympic medalist. The runners rounded onto Appian Way, where they crossed the long-anticipated finish line. 2 Keene State athletes have been selected to attend the 2016 NCAA Student Athlete Leadership Forum in Baltimore, Maryland. KeenOwls.com reports Shay Crosby from the softball team and Samantha Sullivan from the women's lacrosse program were among 285 student athletes selected to attend the event. The participants will discuss core team values and leadership values, as well as hear from a number of keynote speakers.
Philosophers and philosophy students from across New England are here in Keene this week. They're attending the Northern New England Philosophical Conference. These scholars see philosophy not only as a time-honored subject of study, but also something relevant in today's world.
Philosophy has been a cornerstone of higher education for thousands of years, and that tradition continues today at this conference.
Everyone in the Western world who was seeking knowledge in any area called themselves a philosopher. Scientists used to refer to themselves as natural philosophers. And so I think a grounding in philosophy helps everyone to learn to love knowledge, to find the things they really are passionate about, and to be a success.
Philosophy attracts people from all backgrounds, including over 20 student presenters from local colleges from different majors and backgrounds.
Philosophy is really important because we don't often think about the consequences of our actions, just whether or not the action is good for us, if that makes sense. So I think it's good to not only learn about other perspectives, but coming up with your own perspectives, which I think is what philosophy is about a lot, and trying to wrap your head around different sort of ideas or things going on in the world and how you can interpret that.
Here in Rhodes Hall, all 50 presenters, including philosophers, historians, and students, keep the traditions of philosophy alive by talking about subjects like morality, nature versus nurture, and even historical philosophical examples. This is Paul Lucas with KSE TV signing off.
The conference will conclude with a banquet in Rhodes Hall for everyone who attended.
That's all for this edition of KSE TV. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll see you then and have a good evening.